Hello garden friends, in today's video I'm going to be planting up some marigolds, a beautiful new cactus that's in full bloom, and a succulent. Basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a little spring garden cleanup and transitioning my garden from spring to summer. So this is a beautiful new cactus I just found, and look at it's already blooming. This is so gorgeous. And this is one of those succulents. It's called a rock purslane, and it sends out these shoots with beautiful purple flowers. So I'm going to figure out a place to put this. You know, when I go to the garden center, I don't always have a plan. Sometimes I just see things that are beautiful and I say, I'll figure out where I'm going to put it when I get home. So that's what's going on, except for the marigolds. I know these are all going to go in flower pots to replace my primroses. As we start getting warmer, they're just getting worse and worse. They need to be replaced. I'm thinking about putting that beautiful cactus in this painted pot because the petals on my tulips are already starting to fall off anyway. The rock purslane does like full sun. However, it does like a little relief if your afternoons get too hot. So I think this is going to be the perfect spot for it. Then when all the shoots come up, it'll just look so whimsical back here and give this area a little bit of color and interest which it needs. I hate to dig these up. I know for some people these come back every year, but for me they don't. I bought these marigolds about a week ago. You know, sometimes you go to the garden center and you buy things and you know where you're going to put them. But then the day runs out of time, so it's been a couple days since I got these, but I'll just deadhead them and I break the roots up a little. I'll probably put 2 in each pot because in that way there's more room for them to spread out. Sometimes with marigolds, if you crowd them too much, it just increases the spider mites. I always get spider mites on marigolds anyway toward the end of summer. But for now, they'll look pretty and they do like full sun. Okay, we got 2 in there. Those are looking good. And in these pots, I have canterbury bells. I love growing things in pots because when the canterbury bells are done blooming, I just store them in another area in my garden. And now that it's spring and the growth is coming up, now I bring them back out. So I guess you could say it's kind of like rotating pots. You know, a lot of times when you have a garden, you don't always have to pack it full with a bunch of plants. In this pot, I only have 1 single annual, and it looked absolutely beautiful. You know, the recipe for a flower pot is a thriller, a filler, and a spiller, but sometimes 1 single flower can be very, very gorgeous. So I'm just going to put 1 marigold in here. You don't always have to follow all the rules of gardening. So this pot is just going to get one single flower. And it's just beautiful on its own. Yeah, I like that. Isn't that pretty? You don't have to pack the garden. And I'm gonna water these in right now. I'm not gonna fertilize them just yet. I'm gonna wait about another week because I don't wanna put too much change or stress on the roots. This is my sweet cat Angel. I found him when I was coming out of the dentist office. He was only a few weeks old, and he's been such a blessing to my family. When my grandchildren moved in with me, he really added a lot of excitement, fun, and comfort for them. God always knows what we need right when we need it. Isn't that the truth? Behind this primrose, I have some creeping Jenny. And that just trails over as the weather warms up. You can always tell when an annual is done with its season because it starts to go to seed. You can prolong the life of an annual if you continue to cut the seed pods off, or you can let them go to seed and save the seeds for next year. But that's always a good indicator when the annual is saying, I'm done and I'm tired. In this pot, I'm growing a Clematis armandii snowdrift. This is the first year that it's bloomed for me, and it's absolutely beautiful. I don't know how long it's going to last in this pot, but when it starts to not look so good, I can just dig it up and transplant it and put it somewhere else. The reason why I love growing things in containers and flower pots so much is because you have so much more control. You can control them with watering, fertilizing. You do have to water them a little bit more. Also, growing things in flower pots and containers, you don't have to worry about rabbits or gophers. Plus, you can just change them up as the seasons change, and they always look fresh. And like I said, you don't need a lot of annuals in pots, just 2 of them are in here, and that adds enough color, and it leaves plenty of space for them to spread out. Now, in case you ever want to know what annuals you can grow in your area at specific times, all you have to do is see what the garden centers are selling. When I go to the garden center and I see marigolds, I know that, okay, it must be time to plant marigolds. Just like when I planted the primroses. They didn't start selling the primroses until it was the season. Like right now, I can't find zucchini because it's a little bit too soon and early to grow zucchini. That's why at the garden center now I only see things like lettuce because those like the cooler weather. So that's a good way to find out what you can plant in your garden certain times of the year. The garden centers are a great indicator. Also, if you go to the garden centers and you see plants that are on sale, usually that's an indicator that their season is coming to an end, and the garden centers want to get rid of those plants to make room for the new ones. So keep that in mind if you see like a percentage off, like 20% or 10%. Ask yourself, okay, well, how much longer is this going to last in my garden? Because the weather can change everything. Hello, Angel. Isn't he just so cute? Oh, by the way, I made this flower pot. All I did was get bathroom tiles. I glued them to a terracotta pot, and then I filled it with grout. So I guess you could kind of say it's a mosaic. Notice how there's a yellow primrose and a pink one. A lot of times when you go to the garden center, there's 2 plants in one container. I love when that happens. 2 plants for the price of 1. This pot recently broke. I painted this one. I just tipped it upside down and I dripped paint down the pot. Yeah, I don't like to throw things away just because they break. Maybe in the future, I'll use this as a succulent container. Also, I won't throw this away. These make great containers for starting seeds. Those will last a season or 2. Eventually they'll break down, but why not repurpose them and put them to good use? So I'm thinking I might put a couple of marigolds here. This is a dahlia which tries to come back every year, but it never blooms for me, so I'll get that out of the way. And I know this is my children's fairy garden, but I could put a couple of them here because it seems like my granddaughter doesn't like putting the decorations right here. She likes putting them up on the chair and in my whiskey barrels. What I do is I make little gullies or moats around so the water stays right where I want it. The rock purslanes get so big, eventually it might even outgrow this area. But I don't always worry about things like that right now, because plants like that are kind of succulents, they're really easy to transplant. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. I don't think I'm going to divide it. I just don't really have any other places in my garden to plant one. So I'm just going to keep it all together. And then later, if this gets too big, I'll pull it up, divide it, and then maybe give a plant to one of my neighbors or something. But I honestly don't have any more room in my garden for more. There we go. I know in my fairy garden I have mostly pink. So adding the orange and the yellow is a little bit much, or a little bit of a contrast, but I don't care, because again, I don't like having rules in the garden. I just plant and do what makes my heart happy. And this so far is making my heart extremely happy. So after doing some research, I just learned that the torch cactus can get about 4 to 7 feet tall. I know that will probably take a while, but still it's capable of doing that. And it does like a little shade in the hot afternoons. The reason why I don't save tulip bulbs here in California is because I would have to put them in the refrigerator to give them a stratification period. I've tried that and they don't come back the same way. Sometimes they come back as a surprise, but that's very rare. Isn't that so pretty? My girlfriend Diane from Diane's Garden Inspiration, she put tulip bulbs in a vase with water because it got too late for her to plant her tulips. And this is such a great way to enjoy them. So thanks, Diane, for the wonderful idea. And that's exactly why I love interacting with viewers and other YouTubers, because we can all learn so much from each other. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking out the regular potting mix soil from, however, I'm not going to throw this soil away. There's no reason to. Soil is very expensive, and I'm going to replace it with better draining cactus and succulent soil mix. My friend Janie from Dig Plant Water Repeat gifted me with her garden gloves. No, she's not sponsoring this video. I just wanted to let you know how sweet she is to give these to me. She came to my house last month and did a garden tour, and she gave me a little gift, and these gloves were part of it. So thank you, Janie, because normally I would garden in my bare hands, and we know oh, thank goodness I have these gloves. I suppose if I'm going to be growing more cactus and succulents in my garden, I need to learn how to handle them properly. So what I did is I put the plants in there with the pot, and then I'm going to put the soil all around it and make like a mold. Lift this out. Then when I take the plant out of the pot, it'll sit right in there. Okay, here goes nothing. The towel and the gloves definitely help. I think that's really good. And if you notice, it even has a little baby. And all these these are potential new blooms. enjoyed hanging out with me in the garden today, and I hope you have a beautiful day in your garden too. Bye.